Wonderful. Let's do it then. Perfect. So I just wanted to welcome you, Ebony. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's truly an honor. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Yeah, just been training heaps the last couple of weeks and ready to head overseas to start my international season soon.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And what are your thoughts for the international season as well as the Olympics? Are you excited?
Yeah, definitely excited. It's obviously what I've been working towards and preparing for all year. So yeah, just a few more races to go to hopefully just stay within the quota and get selected for
Wonderful.
both the 100 and the 4x1 relays. So yeah, all of the preparation's done. I just need to go out there and do it. But yeah.
100%. And I wish you all the best, by the way, with all of your endeavors in the future. It sounds incredible. So I've got 5 questions for you today.
Yeah.
And my first question for you is, what motivated you to pursue sprinting competitively? And there's also a second part, which I can mention a little bit later on.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. So I started sprinting when I was 4. So obviously, just parents put me into the sport, but it's something that I've always continued doing. I think the most pivotal point of me wanting to start doing it like professionally and to try and get to like a top level was definitely during lockdown, where I kind of really needed to make the decision whether I was going to go in 100% or just continue doing it for fun or just give it up. So that's when I really decided to go 100% all in, not only like physically, but also like all other aspects as well. So I really dialed in
Mm,
on my nutrition, my mindset, my sleeping habits, quit like drinking alcohol. So like everything just like completely took a 180 and I just dialed in on every single little thing. And that then allowed me to go from like running 1180 to 1130. And
mm,
I've been able to continue that as well. And also just being able to bring some of those practices into what I'm doing even to this day as well. So that was back in 2021, and I'm still doing all of those things now, if not like a
perfect.
little bit better, and just fine tuning things and finding what's working for this year and also
Yeah,
moving forward as well.
that's incredible. And I remember for myself, like during the pandemic, my whole mindset completely changed. And I started going to the gym more regularly and training at home as well. So it's crazy how such an event can like modify your mindset for the better. So you can quit like bad
Yeah.
habits and focus on longevity, on
Yeah.
your health and well-being. It's truly remarkable.
Yeah, and I feel like
Um,
it could have even gone like one way or the other. Like I know a lot of
exactly.
people that really struggled mentally during that time, and then there
Mm,
was other people who took a complete like 360 and just changed like
yes,
their whole like mindset and aspect of life as well. So yeah.
exactly right. And the best thing is try to take advantage of any situation that you can to get out of your comfort zone and continue to push yourself forward.
Mm,
Like before the pandemic, I didn't really have that mindset as such, but something modified inside of me, and I started looking for like long-term growth and prosperity as well.
yeah.
Um, the second part of this first question is, what continues to bring happiness into your life?
Well, definitely like obviously being a sprinter and being able to still continue doing this and being physically fit enough to do it, and
Yeah.
just the opportunities that obviously come with that as well. But I feel like all aspects of my life give me happiness at the moment, which is really exciting. And so yeah, just like I started a business in October, and that's going really well. And that's where my passion sort of lies. So being able to just build up on my career for even when I finish sprinting as well, that's a massive thing that I've always said is like yes, I want to like continue to grow and to be like the best sprinter I can and to live off being a
Mm,
full-time athlete if I wanted to. But ultimately, like once that's gone, what else do you have? So being able
yeah.
to just have such a passion for the fitness industry and building my coaching business from the ground up, and just seeing that evolve as well is also what gives me happiness. And the other side of things as well is like family and friends too, just being able to have like a really good social network and people that support me in anything that I do is what gives
100%.
me like pure joy and happiness in life too.
That's truly remarkable. And I know my family as well, they have continued to motivate me both, with uni studies and also with training as well. It's truly modified my mindset, and I look at things more positively nowadays because I have that social sort of network,
Mm.
and they continue to bring confidence into my life. So it's remarkable how much your loved ones can help you as well as friends. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's truly amazing to hear.
Yeah.
On to the second question. Throughout your career, Do you have any records or achievements that stand out to you?
To be honest, I feel like any sort of achievement, whether it's big or small, is something that I'm always grateful for because, like,
Mm,
I started off in the sport, like, not really being the best or anything like that. So, any small achievement that I do, I'm like, yeah, stoked about and like
yeah.
celebrate the small wins just as much as the big ones. However, I've obviously had a lot of like great achievements in the last 12 months. So, yeah, making world championships last year, the world relays that we've just had, coming top three at nationals, running heaps of PBs this year, all of that. And I feel like there's still so many more achievements that I'm going to be proud of in the next 12 months following along from
Months.
this. So, yeah, any achievement, big or small, I'm always proud of. However, like the last 12 months has been like a massive highlight for me. And I can all like just sense that the next 12 months beyond this is going to be like even more exciting. So, yeah, like definitely lots of achievements that have happened, lots that are to come. But I'm someone that, yeah, just likes to celebrate any achievement, whether it is big or small. So, yeah.
And that's such a great mindset to have because I know many people are always obsessed with, reaching to the very, very top, but they forget about these small achievements that got to them, to
Yeah.
got to that, like last stage. So
Yeah.
it's all
Like I
about the
know, like
journey. Yeah.
me being like a little kid would have never, like, I didn't have dreams of being like an Olympian or anything like that because I actually
Yeah.
didn't have the belief that I could do it. Whereas now I'm at a position that I'm like, I'm so close. And like, yeah, like if I was to make that, like, it'd be so amazing. But it just shows
Exactly.
that, like, even, yeah, like me being like a kid, I'd never had that in my mind because I didn't think that it was like possible. So that's
Mm,
where it just shows that, yeah, like any small achievement, whether it is, yeah, like coming first at state championships, whether it's, yeah, running
exactly.
PBs or running a certain time, like all of those achievements were things that I never thought that I could do. So therefore,
Hmm.
like I need to celebrate them, whether they are, yeah, big or small.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's all about appreciating the journey and the different sort of steps that you took to get to that final stage, whether
Yeah,
that be, Olympics or indoor championships, like you mentioned. It's remarkable to celebrate any achievement, big or small. Such
yeah,
a good mindset
yeah,
to have.
yeah.
This third question, before I mention it, I just want to wish you all the best at the Oceania Championships coming up, as well as the Paris Olympics. What do you usually think about when preparing for these sort of events? And do you follow a specific sort of schedule?
Yeah. So pretty much in terms of preparation for like major championships, they're not much different to smaller championships as well. So whatever I
Yeah,
do like for a track classic in the Australian season or national championships is no different to what I would do for the Olympics or Oceanas or anything like that.
yeah,
Like the preparation, the training all stays the same, nutrition should stay the same, sleep, mindset, everything. And if you can sort of nail those things like over a long period of time, that's just going to make racing and those major championships a lot easier. So that was something that I sort of figured out last year. I sort of went into the world championships trying to do all these new things, and it's like, well, if I don't do those things at home before like smaller championships, why would I bring something new into these bigger ones? So this season, I've prepared for every single race the exact same. Um, and I feel like that's helped. So yeah, definitely just not changing anything, doing all the preparation and making your routine very similar to what you usually would.
yeah.
Obviously, like routines are going to change between like an off season and an in season, but pretty much like keeping my in season routine the exact same is what I've found has helped me prepare for any race, whether it is, yeah, a track classic or a major championships, and just trying not to change anything up too much as well. Obviously, when you are at major championships, sleeping in different beds and you're sharing rooms usually. So those things can
Right.
change, but pretty much if you're keeping your routine very consistent back at home, that's still then going to
Mm,
allow you to have a really good consistent routine when you get there as well. And those smaller minor changes of sharing a room with someone else or not being able to cook your own meals shouldn't change too much because, yeah, you still have been able to keep that consistency all the way through and prepared yourself almost
right.
for those, yeah, for those roadblockers to sort of come in. So yeah.
100%. And when you've made those sort of changes, have you realized that it's easier for you to adapt to certain like challenges, whether it be the climate or humidity,
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
example?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And especially like obviously the more that you travel, the more like knowledge you're going to sort of gain and
Yeah,
sort of know what's for you and everything. So
yeah,
I remember the first international race that I did last year in New Zealand, like I didn't wear compression socks on the plane and all those sort of
Hmm.
things. So obviously like those things are things that I've been able to like think about and to
That's
build a
right.
routine on now. But everything else stays the same. So it's just those
Hmm.
smaller minor things that you sort of got to think about when it does come to traveling or um, yeah, needing to go international. But
Yeah.
anything else apart from
Perfect.
that pretty much stays the same in terms of nutrition and sleep,
Mm,
mindset, training, all those things stay the same.
perfect. Perfect. And thank you so much for mentioning that. I was wondering, in the earlier stages of your career, were you still following that same sort of like consistent routine, or is that something you developed later on?
Yeah, it always is evolving and changing. Obviously, like the older that you grow as well, things are going to change.
Yeah.
Even like health wise as well. Like a couple seasons ago, I had quite a few like digestion issues, so having to
Hmm.
change like my nutrition and cut a lot of things out and try and figure out what sort of was the cause from that. There's going to be stages where you're really stressed with like studying or work or things like that. So it's just almost like adapting to where you are in that certain point of your life.
Hmm.
However, most of the time you're going to be in that sort of stage for a couple of weeks or months. So it's just really figuring out like trying to stay consistent within like a long period of time, but still being able to adapt and change things along the way as well. So pretty much I
Mm,
have like my base routine, but then I also have things that I bring in and out of those routines for if
it's
things do
perfect.
come up and need to change like quite quickly as well. So just
Hmm.
because like I've got like a routine, it doesn't mean that it's set. I still change it up and bring things in and out to make it quite flexible. So if things do come
That's
in,
right.
I'm not like freaked out or stressed or anything like that because I know how to sort of control it and handle it.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And was it difficult for you to find certain things that worked for you, or was it more like as you go along, you kind of learn these different things about yourself, your health, your well-being?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, yeah, there was a few like years ago that I would freak out if things changed or if, I
Mm,
don't know, like I did have to sleep in a different bed or I didn't have access to a kitchen or something, I would freak out. And now I've allowed myself to learn that you can't control some of these things, like only control the things that you can control. And I
that's right.
think that's where it goes back to, yeah, like I've got my base routine, but
Hmm.
all of those things I can still control. So it's, yeah, like knowing like still being able to have like your 8 hours sleep and like the things that you can control, but then the things that you can't control, don't have those allow your routine to
Exactly.
change, be like, yeah, your base of your routine. Whereas I think before that, like my routine was so strict and set that anything that came in, I would, freak out and stress
Freak
out. Whereas
out.
now it's like, it's a little bit more flexible and like just being able to, change things where I need to.
That's perfect. And I think you actually answered my next question, believe it or not. But yeah, I'll mention it either way. Do you have any words of advice for anyone wishing to pursue this discipline? And what is something you wish you knew when starting your career? I think you practically answered that already, but
Yeah, within all my answers. But I
exactly.
think the main thing is like I think I mentioned this before, like when I was a kid growing up, like I never won any races or anything like that, but and I never thought that I would get to the position that I'm at now. Like as I said, I never saw myself as an Olympian because I was never anywhere close to that level. I never made nationals or even states. Like my first state final was when I was 17. My first nationals was when I was 19, and I'm only 20, like 20, turning 26 this year. So it just shows that like
Amazing.
if you're not winning or you're not the best in your sport, whether it's athletics or not, if you're not the best, it doesn't mean that you're never going to be the best. So just continue
That's right.
working at it. If your passion's there and it's what you love, um, then the rewards are going to eventually come. I do really truly believe that when you are a child, that it is a lot of natural talent that is what gets you to winning states and to being the best in your school and winning cross
Mm,
country, all those sort of things. But once you get older and you, mature and you grow up, and if you are the person that's stuck with it the whole way through, then
that's
eventually your
right.
time is going to come as well. So, just because you're not the best now, it doesn't mean that you're never going to be the best.
And that's such good words of advice, and it's truly inspirational. I think your example is incredible for every member of the younger generation to know that it's not the end of the world if you don't have that natural talent to begin with. You can
No.
always continue to work on yourself, and there's no better time than the present. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's truly
Yeah, that's right.
remarkable.
And yeah, I'm a true believer in like whether it is sport, business, uni, anything like that, like your
Exactly.
time is always going to be there. And I feel like everyone's time, like everyone has their time, whether it is when they're a kid, whether it's when
That's
they're
right.
a teenager, whether it's they're an adult. If you continue to work at it, your time will come. It's just, you just can't dictate when that time is going to come. So just keep on
Exactly.
working at it and chipping away, and eventually you'll get there.
100%. And I think that's the beauty of life, not knowing, what's going to happen on, the other side of the corner, for example,
Yeah.
and always being prepared to kind of change your attitude, your values and beliefs to adapt to any obstacle that comes your way. So, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same for business, like you mentioned, in any other industry that you're in. So
Yeah.
not just for athletics, but also any other sort of industry. So that's truly
Yeah.
remarkable. And I know that I'm kind of forming that same mindset now, which as a kid, I definitely did not even think about half of these things when I was growing up. So,
Yeah.
so that's right. This is the second last question. Thank you so much for your time once again, Ebony. Do you have any specific goals you would like to achieve in the near future?
Yeah. Well, definitely like this season, like all I've wanted to achieve, my biggest goal this year is just to make the Olympics. So
Mm,
if I can do that in both the 100 meters and the 4x1, that would be amazing. But either way, like I just, yeah, want to get to the Olympics. I want to still be at that level. Last year at the World Championships really made me like feel like I belonged there. And that's sort of what's been able to give me that push this season to just go for it in both the relay and the 100 meters, because I know that I can do it and I know that I belong on that track at that world stage. So yeah, just making the Olympics this year is the biggest goal. But beyond that, like obviously, I want to keep on running as fast as I can. I would love to be the fastest woman in Australia over both the 100 meters and also the 60 meters as well, is something that I really want to dabble into in the near future and try and get overseas and run some world indoor championships over 60 meters, because I feel like
mm,
that's where my specialty kind of lies. But yeah, as I said earlier, like any achievement, big or small, like I'm always grateful for it. So when it comes to goals, like
exactly.
yes, I've got my goals, but if they don't happen, it just means that it's not meant to be. So I'm going to
Mm,
continue working and preparing and racing and training just as hard as I have any other session or race that I ever have done. And whatever comes from that is whatever's meant to be. So yeah, big
exactly.
goals that I want to achieve, but whether they happen or not, like I'm still going to be grateful either way. So yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And I remember you talking to me about you offer PT sessions. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you have any
So
goals? Yeah.
so I do a little bit of face-to-face personal training, but yeah, I've also got my
Hmm.
own business as well. So that's purely online coaching. So
Hmm.
strength training, running training, nutrition coaching. We're
It's
then gonna
incredible.
start to dabble into some mindset coaching as well, athlete mentorship, those sort of things. So that's all stuff that's in the works and growing. And we only started the business in October, so yeah, big things
Oh,
to come with that. And yeah, that's obviously a massive goal of mine as well, is just to build that business as big as I can. And yeah, hopefully eventually be a full-time athlete and have a couple of sponsorships behind me, and being able to
100%.
then put all of my effort and work into the online coaching space as well.
Exactly. And for all of the viewers at home, I'm going to include Ebony's social media links as well as her PT business down below. So be sure to show us some support.
Yep.
And finally, we have come to the bonus slash funny question of the day. Cue the drum roll somewhere. I can't afford the drum roll, but can you please let me win against you in a sprint, Ebony? Please.
We need to arrange for like a
We
little
definitely
race,
need to.
yeah, in the winter season. Even if it's like
100%.
30 meters, or I'll
Exactly.
let you choose distance.
Thank you so much. If you could give me a head start, I would be more than happy
Yeah,
to claim that.
we'll make that work.
100%. Thank you so much once again for your time, Ebony. And once again, I wish you all the best for the Oceania
Thank you.
Championships, as well as the Paris Olympics. I'd be more than happy to have you on another episode in the near future. That would be great.
Yeah,
But yeah,
definitely.
thank you once again. It's been an honor.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ebony. Bye bye. Take care.
Yeah.